Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news. It's Mondays with Mallory with KTIK 95.3 FM The Ticket's John Mallory. Listen to Idaho Sports Talk with Prater in the Ballgame weekdays from 3 to 6 on 95.3 FM The Ticket and online at KTIK.com. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, here's Johnny Ballgame and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Monday to you. Apologize for the delay. The bus company of an unnamed-to-be school district is going to get quite the call from me here after the show, Johnny. But apologize to you for being late. Apologize to our viewers. It's unprofessional. It's embarrassing, and I'm very frustrated. But the bus for the fourth day in a row was late. Nothing you can do except call, and that's what I'll be doing after the show. So I sincerely apologize.
Give it to them hard. It's a game week for some programs.
Well, yeah, people have jobs and work, and it's embarrassing. So I apologize, and we'll try to make sure it doesn't happen again. We'll get the kids to school a different way if we have to. But, yeah, the bus was 20 minutes late, never showed, and I had to drive them to school. And as you experienced on the way down to the station, Johnny, it's a little wet, a little slow roads today.
Yeah, a little bit of traffic in Boise, not something that we're totally accustomed to, but every now and again you want it just to pour for a day or two. Let things get green again, catch up, and obviously fired up. Maybe Andy Avalos can use this down the road and say, hey, we're probably going to play in some of these inclement weathers sometimes. And let's use this as a building block. Let's use this as a point of reference. We can go back to and say, hey, remember when it rained that day? We went out and got some work in. So here we go, BJ. Big scrimmage over the weekend and a lot to get to on BNN Live.
There is a lot to get to. Want to remind folks we'll be broadcasting later this week from Circa Resort and Casino, heading down on Wednesday, live broadcast on Thursday and Friday as part of their contest weekend, the ultimate contest weekend. They've got the $8 million guaranteed for the Survivor, $6 million guaranteed for the Circa Millions. You pick 5 games against the spread. And again, you have to sign up in Vegas, but you can play from anywhere. So if you're interested in getting a contest, splitting a contest with somebody, going in 25% with 4 buddies or 4 other BNN listeners, let me know. We've already got 2 or 3 folks we're going to be helping sign up down there. I can sign you up while I'm down there, but it's a Thursday and Friday live shows from Circa Resort and Casino as part of their ultimate contest weekend. Johnny, they got about 30 radio stations from around the country going to be broadcasting in the ballroom there, kind of where we were for media days. And they got some meet and greets with the owner, Derek Stevens, some things out at the pool on Saturday to watch the 0-week games. So going to be fun down there. I know you're jealous you're not coming down to Circa.
Yeah, you're going to be down there, BJ, watching all those games on Saturday. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Week 0, Navy and Notre Dame, and I'll be out at the pool, man.
That's the first kickoff, BJ. We're going to wake up. We have college game day. I have a big fantasy draft Saturday morning. It's an online draft, so I'm going to have my setup all going. I'm going to do my fantasy draft on my laptop. I'm going to have my TVs working for the week 0 college football games. I was thinking about that this morning, like, holy smokes, man. Saturday, it's on. It's happening. And for Boise State fans, whether they like it or not, whether they're going to pay attention or not, it fascinates me. Maybe that's just me, but Hank Bachmeier is playing in the nightcap on CBS Sports Network, Louisiana Tech versus Florida International. So I want to see Hank Bachmeier in his new digs and see what he looks like. So heck yeah, there's stuff to get excited about when it comes to week 0, man.
Well, also a lot to get excited about tonight, episode 2, Ball Talk with Sanford and Johnny. We had great viewership, great response, Johnny, from week 1. I know you guys are fired up again for tonight and episode 2.
Yeah, we've been texting throughout the weekend, getting our ducks in a row, so to speak, with what we want to do. Episode 2, season 1 of Ball Talk. I think we came up with some pretty good, cool ideas. Let Sanford go. Let story time be active. I'll do what I can to be entertaining as well. And, broadcasting from the Bronco Nation News Cutwater Can Studios. And tonight, 8 o'clock, BJ? We're going to get that thing going. And no bus schedules are getting in the way of Ball Talk. That's for damn sure, BJ.
No, you got 2 hours to get from your station there in downtown Boise out to Meridian. And my wife just asks that you be a little quiet if the boys are trying to sleep tonight. Can we keep the volume down just a little bit?
Yeah, I'm going to do my best there. I know it's school's back in sesh, so everybody's got to keep their head on a swivel.
8 p.m. tonight. Again, the link is already up there on YouTube, so check it out. We'll the topics you were talking about are going to be great. Some great topics. Excited about episode 2. And again, that'll be 8 o'clock tonight. We got Nate saying go midshipman. Bill saying hope Hank kicks butt. You guys rock. Good morning, everyone. College football weekend. Yeah, a lot of people are excited. Nate asking about the team working on UW installs already, or do they start next week? So, Johnny, you mentioned the rain today. They actually have no practice today. Today is the first day of school down at Boise State. So today is also the first day of a simulated game week. So today is a simulated game week for them, and they get Mondays off typically. They'll come in, watch some film, get treatment, things like that. They'll go to their first day of classes today, and they'll be back on the practice field Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then a walkthrough on Friday, and then they'll have their simulated first quote-unquote game on Saturday, and then they'll do it for real next week. So they will get to the installs this week. Early in the week, yesterday and today, we'll hear it from Andy Avalos here in a minute. They were focusing on themselves. They'll kind of review the second scrimmage, correct some things, and then I think he said midweek, so probably tomorrow when they get that first practice, they will officially turn the page towards Washington. They'll get the game plan in early this week, and then typically the full game plan is in by the end of this week, so they have the extra week next week, the actual game week, to just go over it. And I'm sure Bush Hamden right now, Johnny, probably knows the first offensive play of the season. I mean, it's
probably, or they've got it narrowed down to a couple. Maybe that depends too if you get the ball first versus if you get the ball second. I know a lot of coaches, if you get the ball second and you're down 7-0 or you're down 3-0 or it's still 0-0, sometimes that opening play might be different in terms of what the score is. A lot of factors in football, man, but can't believe it that it is almost a game week, and that's cool. I know a lot of programs do that, BJ. Give the kids a complete and total day off on the first day of school. Let them get adjusted to their classes. There's a lot of freshmen that are going to college for the very first time. They don't know where the quad is. They don't know where the admin is, and you're looking around trying to get where you want to go. I think a lot of us have been in those situations too. So good for Andy and his staff to say, hey, guys, go do school today. Sorry, Cardell Jones, and let's get something going here. We'll see you in the building tomorrow.
What do you think if Boise State wins the coin toss? Do they try to score first and get the lead, or do you think they try to see if they can get a stop and set the tone early and get the ball in the second half?
I think that's what teams are doing. We all grew up playing Madden video games, right? In NCAA football, you always kick off first. Put your defense out there. Let the offense get a breather, not a breather, but feel it out a little more, especially when you're on the road. That's going to be a loud environment. I don't know if he can choose the very first play of the season is Taylor Green and shotgun in Husky Stadium. Maybe you let Michael Penix do his thing first and hope you get a 3-and-out or a turnover and you can build off that momentum. Who knows, though? A lot of coaches are different. We'll see. We're already talking about the coin toss, man.
Yes,
I love it.
We're all hey, let us know in the ICCU YouTube chat. Would you take the ball or would you kick off against that offense if you win the coin toss? But hey, guess what we're also talking about, Johnny? Chase Love wants to know about the uniform combination for the UW game. We any hints on that? We don't know yet. Does it feel like an all-white, probably stormtrooper on national TV to kick off the season? If I had to make a guess, I'm guessing they go with the all-whites, but I really don't know the answer to that.
Maybe you throw in the blue pants, blue helmet, white jersey, blue pants. Maybe that's a look they look at as well. I'm into football fashion just as much as the next guy. And for me, you're right. They're road uniforms. The Stormtrooper white is what they call them. That's my favorite Boise State road uniform. I'm not a traditionalist when it comes to uniforms. Look cool. Give the kids what they want. No kid cares about, well, we wore this in the 70s. We don't put names on the back of our jerseys. We don't have logos. Like, kids don't want that, man. Kids want to look bitchin'. They want to look cool. Ask Oregon what changing uniforms does to recruiting. A lot of schools have got in on this, so I don't have a problem with it. Look cool. Give the kids what they want, BJ. And Boise State, I'll be honest, they have a lot of cool I think they have a lot of cool uniform combinations we've seen over the past. So maybe they go traditional, blue helmet, white jersey, orange pants type of thing. They have a lot of options. Yeah, for sure.
I didn't know the uniforms would be such a polarizing thing here. You know, Robbie says, I'd love the black, white, black like against BYU. And then the very next comment, as long as they don't wear black, I don't care. So
yeah,
it just depends. Everybody's got their favorite. Cool. I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm guessing all whites. Afternoon game, I think, on national TV. Nate Staley says, take the ball, score quick to take the crowd out. And he says, even better, Caden Dudley takes the kick to the house. How about that?
If he's returning kicks. Seen a couple guys back there, BJ.
And talk about the depth chart, man. Don't get too into that there. Speaking of Andy Avalos, speaking about the depth chart, he spoke with the media. We'll hear from Andy Avalos after the second scrimmage in just a second. But I want to thank our title sponsor, roepaint.com. Check them out, roepaint.com. The best in concrete coatings, 5 times stronger than epoxy. They can do it in one day, the one-day install. Get more information online at roepaint.com. Lithia Ford of Boise, their fall kickoff sale. They got the electric vehicles going. We're looking forward to being out there at Lithia Ford of Boise on September 8th. Jay Tust and I will do the show from the back of a new F-150 Lightning on September 8th. Yes, the F-150 all-electric Lightning. Jay Tust and I will broadcast from inside the vehicle, show you about the vehicle. Looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come join us in person if you'd like. Jay has agreed to waive his autograph fee for this day. So if you want a picture, that might still cost you, but Jay did say he'd do the autographs for free at least, Johnny. I don't know if that surprises you or not, but looking forward to that September 8th. Come join us at Lithia Ford of Boise and Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Johnny, we are exchanging dates with the president at Boise State, Dr. Marlene Tromp. We are hopeful on the next episode, Tyson Degenhardt's guest will be an interview with the president of Boise State, Dr. Marlene Tromp. And, man, there could be some realignment stuff to talk about. That could be a great interview. So we are working on the details and hopeful that the next episode, a week from Tuesday, will be Marlene Tromp. But we are working on that, and we'll let you know here coming up shortly. So if you need any Boise State gear, our final sponsor I want to mention right here, the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. If you're going up to that UW game, I think blue's the color for fans, so go get your new gear at theblueandorangestore.com. Free shipping, any order over $40, or you can just go to the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall there and check them out in person. All the newest sideline apparel, coaches gear, the hats, all that stuff. Check them out at theblueandorangestore.com, and they are partially responsible for us being able to hire Mike Prater. They upped their commitment with us, and we're very appreciative of the folks at the Blue and Orange Store. So if you're a fan of us bringing Prater on board, please go support the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Johnny, the second scrimmage on Saturday, it was a closed scrimmage. They took it over to Donna Larson Park. They had a youth optimist football thing going on in the blue, so they were unable to use the blue for the scrimmage on Saturday, and instead of doing it at the indoor or at the practice field, just with a lot of people around, they also decided, hey, let's simulate this thing like a real road game. And they went up to the Stickle Sky Center and did their meetings and things as if they were in a hotel. They got on a bus, went over to Donna Larson, got off, did the full pregame warm-up, and then had the scrimmage to kind of simulate it. Now, they'll be doing it in front of 70,000, in 2 weeks. But better than nothing to try to get the cobwebs out and for some of the freshmen to get their first experience of what they're going to do when they get on a bus for a road trip. And let's hear from the head coach, his opening statement, Andy Avalos, after the scrimmage.
What can you tell us about scrimmage number 2?
Well, it was good to get off site today and move out of our facilities for the second scrimmage. It was a simulation of an away game, getting out of our facilities for our meetings and in terms of leading up to the game. We used the Sky Center as a makeshift hotel, not literally staying overnight, but how we would operate within the ballrooms at the hotel we were staying at. So it's good. I mean, to get the team, to get the staff and everybody in operation, to be able to handle ourselves on the road and be able to operate and not flinch. So it was actually kind of fun to be able to do that. It's cool to see our staff pick up and move shop over to Donna Larson, and very thankful for Justin and the softball team for letting us use their facilities over there. It was great. And then when we got into it, today was really about in the second scrimmage, seeing how much more efficient we can be with the operations. We spent 2.5 weeks really working on basically A through Z in terms of football situations, our philosophies and our schemes that are going to go along within those situations. And it was fun to see the guys put it together, and really, too, from the older guys all the way down, from the guys that run with the ones group all the way down to the threes, and being able to see the freshmen actually run through some of these scenarios and not just run plays, but operate and execute. They're doing a much better job. We hit all the field zones today. We played, all the special teams were in. It was good to see it all mixed together. Had some, the offense started off. We scored a couple touchdowns in the first couple drives, and the defense really stepped up and regained some momentum there and played really tight, for the majority of the scrimmage there, moving through. And we had some good 2-minute scenarios as well. It was awesome to see at the end of the scrimmage, Wyatt hit a field goal with 3 seconds left on the clock with the orange group, which was great to see. I mean, today Jonah did an awesome job. Jonah hit from 42, 51, and 36 today, 3 for 3. So just being able to see the snap, hold, kick, and the protection operation and all come together and put some heat, on those protections. Again, it went back and forth today. The quarterbacks, the one thing, TG was 72% today. Did some really good things in terms of getting the ball out and hitting a couple explosive plays, early on in the scrimmage. And Mad Dog did a really nice job. He was 75% today as well, and had a touchdown. And we still gave up a few sacks there, so we're working to continue to handle our protections and make sure that we're getting squared away there. And CJ, threw for 50% today, but did some really nice things. Had a long, he had a long explosive play of 43 yards. So it's good to see the quarterbacks creating, operating the offense, creating, moving the offenses down the field. And now obviously it's just going to come down to consistency and being dialed in as we move forward after scrimmage number 2, more into opponents and starting to prepare for the season and get some different looks, opposed to just getting the looks that we give ourselves. It was awesome to see. We had a couple of interceptions today too. Marco had a big time play. It's awesome to see what Marco's doing out there coming back this year. After getting hurt last year, we're really excited about what he's doing. The linebacker core today did a really nice job. There were a bunch of guys that were getting the mix in, and Marco had an interception, but a lot of the guys were very productive in the run game. Did a nice job in their coverages and their ability to pressure the quarterback. Felt like both line of scrimmages did a pretty good job. I mean, the offense ran the ball for 140-something yards today. The thing that you want to see is the physicality and the consistency. You don't want to see sloppiness at the line of scrimmage, obviously, when your team is playing each other. And it was awesome to see that today. You got guys out there coming off the ball, playing fast, playing at great pad levels, staying on their feet. And that's great progress, right, from where we started 2.5 weeks ago. So there's a lot of good things. There was a lot of great things that we saw today, but obviously we get a day here tomorrow being to be able to self-scout ourselves, look at all the things that we've done in fall camp, create a plan for all the situations, whether it be down and distance situations, field zone situations, clock situations, and be able to self-scout ourselves as we move forward. actually before we move forward into opponent scouting. And really that is the next to do on the list here. And, you know, as we move into starting school on Monday, work out of camp, and then prior to moving into opponent scout in the middle of next week.
There you go, Johnny. A 5-minute opening statement summary of the scrimmage. You had Taylon Green, 72% completion. That quieted some of the folks that were a little nervous that he was only 55% or whatever in the first scrimmage. A couple more interceptions for the defense. Mentioned both lines of scrimmage playing well again. Any takeaways from that or from the whole press conference or anything you heard from Andy about scrimmage number 2?
Yeah. IQ bar. Andy's into the protein bars, the supplements, the hat he was wearing. Last week, it was Tamarack Resort. Probably a wonderful place for him and his family to go vacation. Today, it's a protein bar with the IQ bar. What's it going to take for that to say Bronco Nation News or KTIK next scrimmage? Honestly, I'm kind of interested on why he's wearing those hat selections. I think it's cool, whatever, BJ, but all kidding aside, great to see the quarterbacks being able to complete a high level of percentage of their passes. Cool. But it's one of those things, and it's good to hear, I guess, that the defensive line was able to get some pressure, and there were a couple of sacks. Now, sacks in the scrimmage are the defensive lineman gets close, you blow the whistle, there's a sack, right? But the defense still wants something to play for. They want that whistle to blow. They want to tell their coaches and their other players, they want to say, hey, see, we are getting pressure on the quarterback. Those scrimmages are weird. You don't want one side to completely dominate the other. I think you want it highly competitive. You want, at the end of the scrimmage, BJ, both sides of the ball, both coaching staffs, sides of the ball to feel good about the direction they're going. And Andy said there, they'll get into game prep week at the middle of this week. They'll start turning it up and focusing more on the Washington Huskies. But it's crazy to think that, yeah, essentially camp has broke. You know, camp is done. They're going to go into their normal activity now that school has started, and it's going to look a little different. But I'm excited. So training camp, fall camp seemed to go pretty quick this year. Here we are. Boise State's going to start prepping for the Dogs midweek. Cool.
Yeah, they did the traditional hike up Table Rock yesterday. You know, to symbolize to climb the mountain. You got to, climb the mountain, I guess, so to speak. And so they did that. Nate Staley says from what he's seeing and hearing, Breezy Dubar going to be too good to keep off the field this season. My money is on him burning the red shirt. Have you heard much about Breezy, Johnny?
No, I'm going to disagree with Nate Staley on that. Maybe he's got some buddies on the team and whatnot, and good for Nate to get his sources where he can. I've been to a lot of practices. You have. We haven't seen a ton, BJ. But I don't know if they would discuss potentially burning Breezy's red shirt yet. I probably don't even think that's been brought up.
You get 4 games. I mean, we would know our answer if he plays against UW, then sure. But I think you try to. Tyler Crow is not a bad number 3 running back. So I think for right now, you stick with Tyler Crow. How much action is Breezy Dubar really going to get? Is it worth a kick return here and there, or some sort of carry in the fourth quarter to burn an extra year? Now you could,
no.
This all changes with NIL and transfer portal, though, Johnny. Too, you got to keep these guys happy. So maybe they just
return. Maybe if he's that good at return, people don't even return kicks anymore. Like 85% of the kickoffs go out of the back of the end zone anyway. It's like they've tried and they basically succeeded at legislating the kickoff out of football at the major college and NFL level. If Breezy Dubar does end up playing that much, it's probably because George has battled with injuries in his past and continues to do so, and maybe the same for Ashton. I mean, you're going to play him as 4 games because you can. I don't know when they're going to pick and choose that.
Am I the only person not high on UW? I think we win in Seattle. The Gently Funked says. I will say. I will say. We'll get into them obviously next week a lot more, Johnny, and maybe later this week. And I know you guys are going to talk a little bit about them tonight on Ball Talk. But you start looking at some of the stats, man. Like, yeah, they're ranked number 10, but like literally the number 1 offense, like literally number 1 passing. You look at the 2 receivers they have. You go to the defensive side, some of the edge rushers they have. This team lost 2 games last year.
Dude.
This
They're
team
loaded.
lost two games last year, and they were in the Pac-12. I think that some people like Gently Funked are underestimating or not realizing how good this Husky team is. I think the spread is about 17 down at Circa. I'll be checking on that this week and reporting on some of the updated Boise State odds. By the way, you asked me and we looked it up. Did Taylon Green have Heisman odds at Circa? He actually does. Taylon Green is on there. I think it's like plus 50,000 or whatever. It's one of the lowest ones on there. I'll check it again on Thursday, but they sent me the list, and Taylon Green is on the list. You can bet Taylon Green to win the Heisman at Circa Sports. But with that said, a 17-point spread, Johnny, we need to wrap up the show here soon, but I'll just say this, and we'll get into it more, you keep it with it. You cover the spread. I think that's a massive win in the opener for Boise State. If I'm Boise State, you just don't want to go embarrass yourself. Hang somewhat close in this game. Hang around the spread. Keep it somewhat of a game in the third and fourth quarter. If you can lose this game 42 to 30 and not 42-7, I think that's that. I think that I know there's no moral victories in college football, but in this game on the road, Husky Stadium, a top 10 team, just keep it somewhat close, and I think that really would help the momentum moving forward.
Well, yeah, there's no moral victories, but there is a such thing as a selection committee, right? That's going to pick the best group of 5 champion, and that's subjective, bro. So, yeah, it's better to lose a close game than to get your ass kicked. Now, coaches and certain fans or media members won't go that far into it. They'll just say a loss is a loss, a win is a win, move on. Well, not really, dude. If Boise State has an excellent showing, and does lose the game, say by single digits, say by 10 or 11 points, and all of a sudden the Huskies go on to contend for a CFP spot, and we're talking in November when the CFP rankings are out, or early December when it's conference championship week, and Boise State can go back to that game on September 2nd and say, look, that was the first game of the year, and we hung with them. That is a respectable loss. The committee looks at that. So it has changed, BJ. It's better to lose a close game than get your ass kicked if you're trying to play in a New Year's 6 bowl game, period.
No, I agree. Bronco 130, though, says revamped O-line, explosive running game. Seems we can control the clock and keep it close.
Hopefully, whatever the ingredients are into Andy Avalos's crock pot of success, hopefully those come true. And you know what? Maybe Washington does not play the game it wants to. Maybe they cough it up a couple times. Maybe they have a couple of defensive breakdowns. Maybe, unfortunately for them, a couple players get cramps or go out with injuries. It's a football game. There are so many variables that come into play here. Maybe Boise State has a couple of plays early. They get up 14-0 or 10-0, and they can kind of play with a lead a little bit. That changes the dynamics of some of the game plans or the play calls. A lot can happen and will happen. I talked to an expert up in Seattle, Dave Softy Mahler, covers the Dogs better than anybody. He said he's not touching this point spread with the 10-foot pole when it comes to the Dogs in laying the points. He thinks the side is Boise State, get all those points and hope for a close week 1 game. Let's hope. Wow. If this game isn't close, what really good matchups are going to be close? When are we going to take a dump on week 1 in these matches? Come on, coaches, buy a plane ticket. Come on, coaches, schedule tougher games. Chick, whatever you're called, filet place. Where are you? Where are the big week 1 bowl game type spectacles of college football kickoff this year? This is a really crappy week 1. I think Boise State, Washington damn near is the best matchup we have, man.
Yeah, and that's why they got ABC, 4:30 prime time or whatever it is, 3:30 Eastern prime time. It'll be a 1:30 kickoff in Boise. Robbie Robinson, do you think it's reasonable to say the new clock rules will help keep it closer? They're talking about 7 or 8 plays a game. If you get a first down, the clock keeps going. I really don't know if that's going to be a huge difference, Johnny, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. So Nate says hopefully TG can show off his arm. UW will be counting and loading the box to stop the run game. Well, it is fun that we actually have football to talk about, Johnny. We actually have a matchup to talk about, and we have 7 games, I believe it is, week 0. And I know tonight on Sanford and Johnny talking ball talk with Sanford and Johnny, you guys are going to maybe take a look at some of those games, maybe even try to win folks some money on some of those games through our friends at Circa Resort and Casino. But Johnny, I know you have a big guest coming up on your show. Did you guys ever announce that later this week yet or not? I don't want to steal your thunder here.
Oh, later on this week. JP, we announced that last week, didn't we? Gosh.
Don't say it if you don't want to. I can't remember. I knew you had a big guest coming up, and I thought you guys announced it, but if not, Thursday, right?
Well, Petros Papadakis today talking about these matchups too. That's a pretty big Fox guest. Yeah, no, I'm pretty damn sure we announced it last week. And I think I'm not sure the date. I think it might be later on in the week, but Mike Prater, my glorious partner and the legend in this town, he booked Chris Peterson on Idaho Sports Talk before the season starts. So Coach Pete this week, we think. If not, maybe it's next week. I got the dates maybe confused, but they are efforting Chris Peterson. So we're going to hope to get his thoughts on the Washington Boise State game. Is there anybody better to talk to in regards to this matchup than Chris Peterson? Probably not.
Yeah, I guess you did because they're all excited about that. So
yeah, we did.
That'll be awesome. Chris Peterson later this week. Final thing, Johnny, give one more promo. We got a lot of people watching now that weren't watching at the beginning. One more promo for tonight's show. I know you guys are excited.
I love it. You mentioned we're talking some point spreads week 0. I love it when ex-head coaches have to talk point spreads. PJ, it's like that dark forest that you have to navigate through. You're not sure where to touch or what to step on, and we're going to get Coach Sanford to do some predictions today. Also, Coach Sanford, we talked yesterday. He's going to talk about Andy Avalos and Boise State's decision, BJ, to basically go through the stickle and have basically, what was it, like a road game environment mock setup. That's what they were doing.
Rooms, all that stuff. Yep.
Yeah, and Mike Sanford's going to share, does that work? Why do coaches do this? So that's the beauty of Mike Sanford. He's coached, obviously, in the Pac-12, Notre Dame, so many other places. Won a Fiesta Bowl here at Boise State as the OC. He's seen and heard everything, and he's really good at sharing those stories to the viewers and getting you inside those buildings. And I can't wait to hear what he's going to say in that regard. It's going to be a great episode. Again, last week was our first week. That's usually the worst episode you'll ever do. So I've been thinking about this every day, all week. I know he and you have too, about how we're going to make it just a little better on season 1, episode 2. So that's going to be live, by the way, too. I don't know if a lot of people know this, like BNN live in the morning. This is absolutely live. A lot of shows aren't, and that's for good reason. You want to edit, you want to cut. People mess up. That's fine. But Ball Talk? No, man. That's 100% live, man.
Yep. Bring your questions, bring your comments. They'll take some of those. A new intro tonight as well, Johnny, that we worked on. So looking forward to that. So that'll be 8 o'clock tonight after you finish listening to Idaho Sports Talk, 3 to 6 today. They're going to have a lot of great content for you to help kick off your week. And so appreciate everybody for checking us out. Sorry again for being late due to the late bus. JP, sorry we went over the time today. Won't happen again. Johnny, appreciate you as well. And we'll be listening 3 to 6 today. Idaho Sports Talk, KTIK, The Ticket. And then tonight, 8 o'clock, come back and join us live on the BNN YouTube channel for Ball Talk with Sanford and Johnny. Have a great day, everybody. Go read Jordan's story on Michael Callahan at BroncoNationNews.com. And we will talk to you later. Bronco Nation News. Go subscribe, BroncoNationNews.com.